let's bring in retired NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao and get his insight into what his fellow astronauts may be dealing with. So this idea of, two astronauts scheduled to go to the International Space Station for a week or so and ending up there for about 8 or 9 months, how common is that? I mean, is this something obviously that they prepare for ahead of time?
No, this is unusual. It was unexpected. Certainly, as you said, they were expecting to spend about 7 or 8 days aboard the ISS doing this shakedown or flight test of the Boeing Starliner because of these problems they've had in the propulsion system. NASA has lost confidence in it for bringing them home unless there's an emergency. And so in that case, on September 6th, the Starliner will undock and come down with nobody on board. But the Butch and Sonny are going to be up there until February. That's because 2 of the crew, the 4-member crew that was going to launch here in a few weeks, they were taken off the flight. And so basically, Butch and Sonny have been swapped in with the next crew that's going up. So they will fly that entire mission and come back down in February. And that's why it's going to be such a delay. So obviously a big impact to their personal plans. But they're consummate professionals. They know that unexpected things can happen, and they're rolling with it, and I think they're doing great.
So based on what I've read, the International Space Station is essentially the size of a very, very large 6-bedroom house. Most of it is filled with equipment, though. It's really cozy quarters for the astronauts. I mean, what is that like, living up there? Day-to-day living, what is that like for 9 months?
Sure. No, ISS is a large structure. I mean, when I was up there, for the long haul, there were only 2 of us, but it was also, probably around less than half the size it is now. So it's relatively the same experience, but it felt at the time to me, subjectively, like a large 3-bedroom apartment. And so for 2 of us, it was fine. We could stay out of each other's way. Everybody had their own schedule to work. Sometimes
everybody got along. Together. Everybody got along, Leroy.
Everybody got along. Well, everybody trains together for a long time, and part of the crew selection is up to the commander. The commander is asked, okay, well, of these people, who are people that there's just no way you don't want on your crew, and who are the ones that you definitely want on your crew, right? So the commander has a lot of say into the crew composition, and so basically, everybody who trains together and does all these things for a long time is fine. You do have to be careful about it, though, because when we were flying space shuttles, those were 2-week missions, and you can get along with anyone for 2 weeks, right? 6 months is a different story, as the Russians learned in the early 70s. They actually had to end a couple of missions early because the crews, they just threw people together, and the crews were, ready to kill each other.
I mean, it's real life, right? It's like having a roommate back here on Earth,
Sure.
I do want to talk about some of the problems that have plagued both the Starliner and the Polaris Dawn mission, just in terms of helium leaks. What more can you tell us on that front?
Well, helium is tricky. The only thing harder to contain is hydrogen. That's the only smaller molecule that we know of, and so it's difficult. Then these valves and the joints and all that, they have seals on them, Teflon seals generally. And so the helium leaks are actually a pretty minor part of this. The helium leaks that Starliner is experiencing is really small. NASA said at the time they could tolerate leaks that were 100 times larger. The bigger issue were the thrusters. Basically they were getting hotter than NASA or Boeing had predicted, and that was causing some problems with the seals. In the case of the SpaceX, the rocket, the helium leaks are not on the rocket side; they're on the ground side. So it's the support side that's having the issue. They got all that figured out, and they were ready to launch again. Then the weather, recovery weather was going to delay them, and then they had a mishap landing the first stage booster of a separate launch back on the drone ship. They had one of the legs collapse and the booster tipped over. So the FAA has to investigate. They consider this a mishap for the whole vehicle, so they ground the whole vehicle, even though it had nothing to do with the launch. Hopefully that will get resolved in a couple of weeks.